Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Riley Wren, and today we are taking a look at the deck that Tord Reklev used to win his unprecedented 4th international tournament this past weekend at LAIC Lugia VSTAR. So here it is, the 60 that Tord Reklev used to cement his legacy as possibly the greatest Pokemon player of the modern era, maybe even of all time. It is, of course, this Lugia VSTAR deck focused on this Summoning Star VSTAR power that will put your Archeops onto the bench, where you can use that Primal Turbo ability to accelerate special energy from your deck to your various attackers. And the deck does feature the amazing rare Yveltal with that amazing destruction attack. Does cost 5 energy, but it can instantly knock out your opponent's active Pokemon, which is a super powerful attack on a 1-prizer as well. It does also feature the Radiant Charizard with that Combustion Blast attack doing 250 damage. We do also have Stoutland V. This is kind of a bulk V that is seeing more play now, of course, that you are able to accelerate multiple powerful energies to this Pokemon and boost the damage output of that double dip Fangs. And you can take an extra prize card if you're able to KO a basic Pokemon. It's just a super useful Pokemon that you are able to take some extra prize cards with in those single prize matchups to swing them more into your favor. We did also see many players on stream this past weekend choosing to attack with Lumineon V and that Aqua Return attack. This does actually preserve your special energy that you're able to accelerate once again with Archeops, and that 120 damage is really relevant in the mirror, where you're able to take out opposing Yveltals and take that 2-prizer out of play. Tord's deck did also feature the Dunsparce, which will remove Lugia's weakness to lightning. And it did also feature the Manaphy with that Wave Veil ability, preventing damage done to your benched Pokemon. Super useful against the amazing rare Raikou that people were playing in a lot of their Lugia lists. And it wouldn't be a modern Tord deck without featuring his favorite trusty monkey, Oranguru. That Primate Wisdom ability will allow you to tuck some special energies that might be clogged in your hand back into the deck, or preserve other resources that are stuck in your hand off of maybe a research or something like that you want to preserve those for later in the game. One thing that's always set Tord's deck lists apart from the rest is the amount of consistency that is crammed into the deck. We see 4 Evolution Incense, 4 Quick Ball, 4 Ultra Ball. It does also have 4 Research. So Tord really just valuing the maximum consistency that you can get out of your deck. A fairly straightforward energy line, 2 Double Turbo, the 4 counts of Aurora Energy, which of course we will need for the amazing Yveltal, and as well on that Radiant Charizard. Do have 4 Capture Energy, which will just help to get 2 Lugias down if you're going second in the mirror. And we have 1 copy of Hiding Dark Energy. This was again a choice of Tord's, focusing and choosing to focus more on the amazing rare Yveltal instead of the Radiant Charizard. And then, of course, we do have the 4 copies of Powerful Energy. You will see these being super useful in boosting Lugia's Tempest Dive, boosting your damage in combination with cards like Choice Belt, just really push Lugia over the top. And of course, they are super powerful on Stoutland V with the double dip Fangs, being able to boost that up to take KOs and extra prizes on things like Comfey and other things in that Lost Zone Engine deck. So that's the list. Let's see it in action. All right, we're hopping into a game with Lugia VSTAR. We did go ahead and win the coin flip, so we will get to go first, which could be super important if this ends up being the Lugia mirror. We definitely want to be going first in that situation. Opening hand's looking okay. Would love to get down multiple Lugias if we can. Get some Archeops in the discard pile, and we're up against Ice Rider Calyrex. Haven't seen that in some time, so I think we'll go ahead and start with the Evolution Incense, grab one of these Archeops and just discard it with this Quick Ball right off the bat. Check our prizes quickly. Do you have the Charizard? Do you have our Choice Belt and Powerful Energies? Awesome. So nothing super relevant is prized here. Go ahead and grab that. Discard that with the Quick Ball. You can grab a Lugia here. Bench that. We'll capture the active just to give ourselves that retreat option next turn. I think I might even go ahead and grab Oranguru with this. Just want to get some of these resources preserved for the following turns, as I don't really want to research away multiple draw supporters. So we'll go ahead and grab the Oranguru, and we'll just put a research on top. And we get a double turbo, so not the best, but we'll go ahead and just leave things there. See what our opponent has on their turn. We do have the nice matching sleeves, love to see that. Did recently get these gorgeous Alolan Vulpix sleeves, so I'm super excited about those. For those of you who don't know, Alolan Vulpix is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, so I was ecstatic to see that they had these sleeves in existence whatsoever. But looking at our opponent's turn, they do get the Irida for that Calyrex, as well as some water energies, and they are going to hit us with the Pierce, which will only do 40 damage. And actually, if we can get the KO on their only Ice Rider this turn, we're looking like we're in a great spot. Hand's a little bit unfortunate here. We will be losing some resources most likely, so I think I'm going to start with the Primate Wisdom. I'd love to preserve this Powerful Energy. I think we're going to put the Powerful Energy back. I would love to be able to just go ahead and get this KO right away if we can, but the Quick Ball will be helpful. We can go ahead and get maybe just another Lugia, seems like the best. Just in case we do whiff, we'd love to have another attacker ready to go. We can attach this double turbo energy and we'll just research. And we do hit the V-Star. We only have the one Archeops in the discard pile, which is not great. Can't get the KO here, so I will just use the Summoning Star for one. I know it's not super ideal, but it does give us the very early aggression, so I think we'll just go ahead and Primal Turbo, the Powerful Energy, and the Capture Energy I think makes the most sense here. I don't want to overextend my Powerfuls if I don't need to quite yet. And that will just offset, that one Powerful Energy will just offset the double turbo that's already on there. So we'll just retreat. And we'll use Tempest Dive for the knockout. And yes, we do actually want to discard their stadium as well. So we'll bump that, take out their only Ice Rider, take 2 early prizes. We get the Yveltal and a boss. So the Yveltal will be great later if they are able to establish another Ice Rider, but instead they just concede. And you see the power of Lugia just taking a really aggressive KO on the second turn of the game, just steamrolling over your opponent. And we do get to go first in this one. Always love to see that, especially if we're up against any Lugia mirrors. Always want to be going first if we can. We do have the option to start with Yveltal or Lugia here. If we were going second, I'd be more likely to start that Yveltal, but since we are going first, definitely want to start this Lugia. See what we're up against. Our opening hand isn't the best. Would love to see if our Lumineon is in the deck. I think we're going to start with the Primate Wisdom. Go ahead and just tuck this Capture Energy back into the deck. Get a Choice Belt. Aurora Energy away this Archeops. And just pass here. I want to hold the cards in our hand. Definitely have some value. I can always Quick Ball away that Choice Belt, but I want to hold the Quick Ball just to keep the option for that Lumineon open. See what we top deck. Opponent is selecting some flowers. They did get rid of a Roxanne, which is always awesome to see that. Hitting the Lost Zone. They do get a Path to the Peak, so we do only play the one counter stadium in our deck. We do also have Pumpkaboo. Unfortunate here that they have that when we don't have any immediate out to Pumpkaboo and a draw supporter. So I think we're going to have to start with this Capture Energy. I think I want to thin out some dead cards before we use Primate Wisdoms. We do have Pumpkaboo and Lumineon in deck. That's great. So I think we will just grab this Lugia. And we can Primate Wisdom to put the Yveltal back in the deck. And we get a research. That is fantastic. So we can go ahead and evolve here. Quick ball away the Choice Belt. Definitely want to grab this Pumpkaboo. Unfortunate to put it in play. If our opponent does play Sableye, obviously you don't want to put a low HP Pokemon in play that they can just pick off like that, but we definitely want to make sure we can actually get an attack off this turn. We do get the full value Archeops, where we're able to grab the other Archeops out of the deck. Quick ball this one away. And I don't know that I necessarily want to take anything here. I guess I could grab something like the Dunsparce and just get rid of that as well if I want to. I think everything else in here isn't really super needed. So we'll grab the Dunsparce. I think I'm just going to hold it in the hand. I kind of want to keep this quick ball around for the next turn. And we can use that Summoning Star. Grab our 2 Archeops out of the discard pile. Can use Primal Turbo. I want to see, yes, our Stoutland is prize, so it would be lovely to take that off the prizes here. And I think we're actually just going to put this double turbo on the active. I don't really want to overextend any energy anywhere else. And we'll just take the KO with Tempest Dive. Would love to take the Stoutland off of our prizes here, and we do. So we are just, the top deck research, Stoutland off the prizes, we are definitely just drawing a little bit hot here, but that's the power of the Lugia deck, especially with Tord's super consistent build that you can just kind of get lucky sometimes. I know Tord definitely was getting lucky in some of his games as well, so you definitely just see that, like the build of the deck being so strong that you're able to kind of have that luck in your favor. Speaking of luck and maybe unfortunate luck, our opponent did have to Lost Zone their Radiant Greninja. So you don't love to see that if you're our opponent or if you're a fan of the Lost Zone deck. Definitely unfortunate there. And they do have to bench Lumineon, so I actually might even go ahead and aggressively chase this Lumineon next turn, since they did already get rid of one of their Roxans. I know sometimes these lists are playing 2 Roxans, so I'm a little bit hesitant to go in with the second one there. But definitely now that our opponent's getting some Giratinas on the bench, definitely want to chase those down. Might have to target the full art. And our opponent is going to get that Spit Innocently. For 140, they do play the Choice Belt, so they will actually threaten a 2-hit KO on our Lugia, which is super unfortunate. And evolve here for sure. Kind of want to hold this Collapsed Stadium in case our opponent plays something like a Temple of Sinnoh. I think I want to, especially since the Pumpkaboo is already in play. Definitely want to keep that around. So I think we're going to quick ball away this Dunsparce. I just really don't want this in the deck anymore. Can grab, I guess, the Manaphy is another card I really don't see myself needing in this game. I think we will Primate Wisdom the research on top of the deck in case we get Marnied. I think I might even attach it to an Archeops just to give myself a way to attack this Cramorant. We'll get rid of that Manaphy. And then I think we will Serena up the Full Art Giratina. Just take some aggressive prizes here. We do have to use a Primal Turbo to put a Powerful on the active, which is a little bit unfortunate just to get over that damage reduction with the double turbo, which isn't super ideal, but we'll go ahead and just take the KO with Tempest Dive there. Take our 2 prizes. Fairly confident we're not going to get Roxanne on this turn, but we do still have plenty of draw supporters in the deck. I think we still have 3 researches. Alright, so our opponent does start with that flower selecting. They are up to 6, 7 in the Lost Zone, up to 9 now with this Colress. So they can, of course, get the KO with that Cramorant. And we actually won't be able to get a KO on this Giratina if it evolves, but they do just go right for the Spit Innocently. So not sure if our opponent doesn't have the best hand in the world. We can come up and just take the KO. I think we might even go in with the Archeops here. Take the KO on this Cramorant. And go ahead and bench the Stoutland. So now we threaten even just a comfy KO for game. We can Evolution Incense, grab another Archeops and just thin this out with the Aurora Energy attachment if we want to, which I think I will even do that here. Just go ahead and discard that Archeops. And then we'll Primate Wisdom, put this Ultra Ball on top of the deck. Get another Ultra Ball, okay. And we will use the Primal Turbo here onto the active. We can put just the Capture Energy there on the active. And we can use the other Primal Turbo. I think I'm just going to put 2 captures onto the Lugia on the bench, just to give ourselves some diversity in our threats. We are just holding on to the ability to go ahead and grab those powerful energies if we need to chase down a Comfey. And if our opponent does take a KO, we do have the Ultra Ball to go find Lumineon and a boss's orders to take out one of these Comfeys, unless our opponent is able to scoop both of them up with scoop up nets, of course. And if not, we can chase down the Lumineon for the final 2 prizes. So looking pretty good. We do have the Collapsed Stadium if our opponent plays Temple of Sinnoh or Path to the Peak or anything like that. We should be able to have the response ready to go. Opponent does play Colress, so that's not going to be a Roxanne. So I'm feeling pretty great about that. And it gets rid of some more cards to the Lost Zone. A large hand here, so I'm not sure what they're still digging for. Do have a scoop up net. Definitely going to be getting another Comfey in. Of course, they send that up. Get rid of a Mirage Gate. So they will be able to get this Giratina built up. They escape rope us here. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to give them the other Archeops here since it's the easiest thing for us to retreat. I don't really want to give them the Pumpkaboo and be forced to burn our last double turbo to retreat it. So we'll see what our opponent can do this turn. They also could have Aqua returned to take the KO on the Pumpkaboo, which I wouldn't have wanted to see. And our opponent just concedes. So they must have been out of water energies to attack with that Lumineon, perhaps. I'm not sure what happened there, but we will take the win. We did have a pretty commanding board state at the end of that game too, so I don't feel like that one was really going to be slipping away from us anytime soon, no matter what our opponent was able to do. So there you have it, towards LAIC winning Lugia VSTAR deck. Of course, seeing the power of that deck just steamrolling opponents left and right, and not hitting any Lugia mirrors this time, but you can imagine going into Toronto Regionals that you're going to be playing a lot of Lugia mirrors if you do choose to play this deck for Toronto yourself, so definitely want to make sure you're practicing those. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like on it, subscribe to my channel, and we will see you all in the next video.